Well, joining us now for a deeper insight on the primaries, our NewsNation senior political contributor, George Will. Good evening, George. You know, we don't want to sound like a broken record here. The Senate race, though, in Pennsylvania, even the race for governor, really could come down to one very familiar name.
Yes, the name that's not on the ballot. Everyone's talking about Donald Trump's influence or lack thereof in Pennsylvania. Just when you think American politics can't get any weirder, along comes the Pennsylvania primary. It started out with two rich people, David McCormick, a hedge fund manager, and Dr. Oz, a TV celebrity, spending about $40 million negative ads against one another. The public watched this and said, all right, we'll try something behind door 3. And there was Kathy Barnett, who hasn't been well scrutinized, not well vetted by the media. So the Republicans could be nominating someone not quite understood by themselves or by the voters. And if that wasn't weird enough, Donald Trump endorses Mr. Oz. Donald Trump then gets very angry at Kathy Barnett, who goes out and campaigns with Doug Mariano, who's Donald Trump's choice to be governor. They're running practically as a team, and Donald Trump has endorsed only half of that. So it's a strange night in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, certainly Barnett, you know, a MAGA candidate who's not backed by the former president. You know, but speaking of Trump, we know his endorsed candidate did, in fact, win the Republican primary in Ohio's Senate race, though. So, you know, how much insight does that offer into all of these other elections?
I don't know, because in Ohio, his candidate, J.D. Vance, did indeed win, but he won with 32% of the vote, which means that 68% of Ohio Republicans voting in that primary voted against the man that Mr. Trump wanted. And next week, 1 week from today, we'll be watching the results from Georgia.
Well, exactly. Right. And I want to talk to you about that, because we know that, you know, Trump really has a storied history with some of those candidates there in Georgia.
He does. He can't stand Governor Kemp, because Governor Kemp did not say that the election his administration presided over was dishonest. So Mr. Trump wants to defeat Kemp. The problem is that Mr. Kemp, A, is winning. And by the way, we heard all this stuff in the last few weeks about the Georgia voting laws suppressing turnout. Turnout is going to be up in absentee voting, early voting, 600,000 people, up 24%. If the Georgia voting law was supposed to suppress turnout, it's a big failure.
So talk about, though, you know, so Kemp, he can't stand, but there's also another candidate he's not necessarily a huge fan of, correct?
That's right. Are you referring to Ratzenberger?
I am, yes.
The Secretary of State? Mm-hmm. Because the Secretary of State, again, would not go along with Donald Trump's charge that he, the Secretary of State, conducted an incompetent election, he wants to defeat Ratzenberger. But it's hard to poll down there, because no one knows who actually will show up to vote for a Secretary of State, not a stellar political figure, a nice man, competent. He might win. He might be a runoff. So a week from right now, we could be facing yet more uncertainty.
Yeah, a lot to keep an eye on. George Will, thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.